viewers. My name is VIDELIZ NJOKI, and that is my sign name. Welcome back to the Voice Show, where we share different stories. Now, previously, we were having a very amazing story, but now we've decided to have a part B. So please, if you have something to share or you are in a point where you can share something special, please, you can see our number right down your screen. At the same time, you can try to find me on social media, Instagram and YouTube, where my name is VIDELIZ in all social media handles. It is VIDELIZ NJOKI. You can get me there. Habil,
Yes.
previously we were having something interesting, very, very, very amazing. We were sharing about what you do, but maybe before that you can introduce yourself again briefly so that maybe somebody may not have watched the previous part. So please introduce yourself briefly.
Okay. Once again, my name is Habel Ouma, and that is my sign name. Why? Because the dev told me to keep my teeth clean. So
You remember? You must keep your teeth clean, eh?
yes. The dev, I had a brown teeth when I was young, so I've made it clean. I was born deaf, but when I was a young boy, I didn't know what I am. I couldn't talk, I couldn't hear. That time I was staying with my grandmother because my mother, imagine, my mother was a nurse and also my father was a doctor. When I was a young boy, I didn't understand our disability. I didn't know where to go. Later, when sometimes people said I became deaf because I ate a lot of eggs.
That is funny. Eggs. You mean eating
Imagine.
eggs makes you deaf?
And that I believed, that was a belief. I went for a hearing school. In a hearing school, I couldn't access the education that I was needed.
Okay, previously, wait a minute. You were speaking about when you were born. And where was your mom? And what happened to your mom?
I stayed with my grandmother. That time, my mother was in nursing college.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Now continue.
that is what happened. So, growing up, I didn't know what school to attend because there were no deaf schools around. When I was in class 6, my parents looked for a school and found one in Kuja.
How did they know about the school?
Through Kenya Social Deaf Child that was in Nairobi. So I went to Kuja School, primary school, Kuja Primary School. The teacher saw me and they decided to take me back to class 4. And imagine I was in class 6.
What?
I said no, I refused. I am in class 6. What am I going? Why will I move to class 4? The second time, to go back to class 5 because so that I can learn sign language, and I said no. Then I continued back to hearing school where I struggled until I finished my class 8. Then from there, my mother got Kuja High School, and that's where I joined in 1992, Form 1. Imagine that time, that was the first time I met deaf children.
So you want to tell me that when you joined Kuja, you had not even seen a deaf person
Not
previously?
yet.
It was the first time.
Okay, I saw the deaf when I entered Kuja Primary School, also in Nyangoma Primary School.
So all that long, there was nothing you were understanding.
But the signing was a problem, not yet. In 1992, when I joined Kuja High School, it was a new experience for me. I was like a baby. From 1993 Yes. In 1993, that is when I acquired sign language and I was okay.
So, how was the experience, maybe from the first step? Now, this is a different world.
There I found people who we can communicate with, because in hearing school, I couldn't hear anything. People were making stories, they were laughing, but I couldn't hear. I remember there was a time my hearing peers laughed at me because I was deaf. One day I remembered I was playing football because I love football. When I was playing football, I scored the ball, and then the hearing were angry with me, and they started abusing me that I'm deaf. So I thought the next time the next time I played football and I scored again, and I was very angry, and I slapped that friend of mine
So, they continued calling
until
you
the
deaf.
skin ruptured. The skin, it
You
broke,
mean?
it ruptured. Yes, the skin was off. The slap was super hot. I've never forgotten that situation. From that time, it made me learn that we are all different and we are all okay. And from that time, we became friends.
That's funny. You're even making me feel somehow afraid.
Yes. So from there, when I joined Kuja High School, I came to understand that we are all people, brothers, sisters, and we all have problems. I finished in 1994, and then that is when I joined the hearing world up till now.
Okay, now you've spoken about growing up in a hearing community, then again growing up in a deaf community.
Yes.
And I understand this time all along you were a youth, right? Now,
Yes.
in school, now when you go back home, how was it meeting now, hearing people again? How did they feel about you?
Yes. The time I was in school, it really opened my eyes and access to information and communication and access to education. One day, the head teacher in a hearing school caned me because I didn't know how to pronounce the word the. Because my voice was different. I couldn't shout, it was just different. Until it was a punishment for me to kneel. People went for lunch and I didn't. So until time two, I knelt there because I refused to pronounce the word the.
Just pronouncing the word they, just that.
My voice wasn't that clear because it wasn't equal with the hearing peers. I didn't go to lunch. I knelt there until 2. When student came back, I was told to go back and sit.
You want to tell me you missed food?
Yes, I missed food because
Just because of pronouncing the word they?
yes, because the pronunciation was different.
Okay.
That became a problem. That was a big challenge that I saw in a hearing community and also in a hearing school. When I finished Form 4 and I finished college, I went back to my grandmother, and my grandmother asked me, "Where is your wife? Where is your wife?"
That's funny.
And I hadn't found one yet. My grandfather looked for a girl and gave me. I thought,
So maybe he looked at you.
and I didn't know how to communicate with that
I
girl.
think your grandfather looked at you and felt maybe you cannot be able to
Maybe.
introduce yourself to a girl.
Maybe. And I refused that. The second time, my grandfather sent another girl, thinking that girl was beautiful for me. The second time, she said, when I was preaching in Rongo, she sent a girl to come when I was preaching, and told me that she was my visitor. She was a hearing girl.
And now you didn't know who that was.
I didn't know her. It was my first time meeting her. So I questioned the girl. I said, okay, so give me time, I'll come and visit you in your home. So give me the name of where you stay. You know, previously we didn't have phone, so we used time. So we kept time and went to the girl's village. When I went there, I met the girl eating charcoal, and I was shocked.
Wait a minute. We have a short break, and then let us see this issue of eating charcoal when we are back. Welcome back. Let us continue with where we left. The issue about eating charcoal. First, you did not accept to be given a lady, and your grandparents were concerned.
Yes,
You're
yes.
done with high school, you're done with college,
Yes.
and we are not seeing you walking around with a lady. Neither are we hearing you speaking about a girl.
No.
And they were like, maybe we must step in and
Yes.
help you.
Yes.
So you decided to go and look, but yourself you refused.
First,
Inform us how you went to look for the second.
when I saw her eating charcoal, that one frustrated me.
So charcoal you didn't want.
I was amazed. Thirdly, I met with a deaf from the same village who was my friend, and he told me that that girl comes from a family that practice witchcraft.
So, and you are a Christian.
That stamped the decision for me to leave her.
You didn't want to be involved in that business.
It was no more. Another time, later, in 1999, I got another girl. No, 1998. I got another girl, but the girl was hearing, and I was really interested in dating a hearing girl, but she refused. I tried to meet her because she had an interest on me. On bad luck, she got pregnant, but I didn't know how she became pregnant. Finding it later that she had but I really had an interest on her. I really wanted. I met with her parents, and I told her I wanted your daughter. I don't care whether he had a baby or not. The father told me to allow the girl to go back and finish nursing college.
So you choose,
and I wanted to marry now.
So you marry, and then she goes back to school.
Later, I told her I'm giving you 3 months to decide
what she wants, whether she to marry you or
me,
to go back to the nursing college.
Yes. The father refused, and she said the father was the problem. So I was disappointed. So I prayed and asked God, please, I want you to give me a girl, whether she's beautiful or whether she's an ugly girl. I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever. After 1 week, I got a beautiful girl, taller like me.
Okay, now you pray. You want to tell me you pray, and then after a week,
Yes.
God gives you what you wanted.
That was an answered prayer. God answered my prayer. She's a beautiful girl and tall like me, just like me. We met. We dated. After 1 year, we did a wedding in 2000.
Okay, was she hearing or deaf?
Yes, she's a hearing girl.
Oh.
After finishing the wedding, we were ready, and the girl has never asked me, like, Habel, how did you become deaf up to now? How did you become deaf? She has never questioned my deafness. She accepted me.
So it's just the way
fully,
you are.
100%. I asked the girl, why did you love me? because I'm a Christian and because she was praying herself, she was praying for a man,
So
and she got me.
You pray, and the prayers meet. Okay.
Yes, yes. It was a total answered prayer. That is how everything panned out. And we are blessed with 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys, and we are done.
Wow, equal. 2-2. Nice. That is interesting and such a beautiful family.
Yes. But I wanted to marry a deaf girl. I had a deaf sweetheart, but the problem was her. I wanted to marry one deaf girl, but the parents blocked us. How can we possibly marry a fellow deaf? My father used to tell me, Habil, you are deaf, so you better look for a hearing girl. So when there is a knock in the door,
at least you can hear and welcome
someone can hear and welcome the visitor. So I thought, and it's a blessing from God. Whatever God gave me, I accepted, and now we are blessed with children.
Now, how is marriage life?
It's not easy. It's not easy. Not easy at all.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay, wait a minute. Now you got married which year?
In 2000.
Okay, 2000.
November, it was officially November, date 19 November in
okay,
2000.
Speaking of 2000, that means it is roughly 23 years, right?
23 years. But I'm telling you, marriage is not easy. Marriage is not a bed of roses.
Not
It's
roses. You think every day it's all about roses, receiving flowers?
If we cannot communicate, then marriage cannot last. If you want to stay strong in marriage, the key is communication. Be ready to trust one another, and be ready. If we have an argument, don't wait for the day to end and sleep with that argument. Don't wait for tomorrow. If both of us are angry at each other, if it is hard to solve it today, just give it 1 or 2 days and find a way to make it easy and come back, and we have a good understanding. But marriage is not easy. You have to understand the weakness of your marriage partner, and the other one must have to understand the weakness of your husband. When I got married, my wife didn't know how to cook fish and also didn't know how to cook omena. But I taught her. And now she understands, and she understands to cook what I like. That is how we continued up to now.
Okay. Youths, we have an example right here. You can learn from him. I hope you're taking notes of everything we are saying. Because speaking of 23 years in marriage, they are saying marriage is not about giving roses, flowers. I believe the current generation is learning.
And also, marriage is not about money. It's about the heart.
So, but people say, the current generation says that you cannot eat the heart.
No. In today's, people think about money. They think that money can make everything okay, but in love, we don't have money. I've seen many marriages break because of money. Today we have money, and tomorrow we might not have money.
So you must understand life has got ups and downs.
Also, in marriage, you must forget and accept what happened. Don't keep on repeating and remembering whatever happened yesterday. Forget about it. That is the past. Let's start new and continue with life. If you learn about my mistake and I think that is wrong, then let us correct that and continue on with marriage.
Now, the current generation, I don't have a word that I can add on that. Maybe, do you have a message for the youth right now? What they can do to have a beautiful marriage?
My one advice to the current youth: God's time is the best. I've seen many getting married because my friends have gotten married already and they want to run for that. That is not the right way. Don't copy because other people are getting married. Your time is not their time. Don't copy from what you're seeing from your peers. In my experience, it's not the same as their experience. In an exam, we don't get all same answers. Just pray and ask God to give you what you want. If you don't pray, God will not give you what you really want. Prayer is a necessity, and be faithful to God, and God will open the way for you and get what you really want. Yes, that is all. Also, in marriage, the only thing that can solve the problem is the Bible. That is the best way to teach on how to stay strong in marriage. Not depending on beautiful cars and money and good houses. No, that is not marriage. Yes, thank you.
I don't have something I can add on that. You have heard it from him about he has been married for around 23 years. And I hope you have learned, and that is why we always have the Voice show to try to teach and create awareness, to learn and to get something from our stories. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, so much. Maybe as we finish, do you have a final word?
No, that's all.
Okay, bye bye. See you in the next show. Bye.
Thank you very much.